Okay, sorry. We're here ready to go. We're looking at Making of a Hypnotist from When Busy by Scott Adams. Hypnotists is a special form of persuasion, or hypnosis is a special form of persuasion, generally involving one hypnotist guiding one patient or subject towards some sort of personal improvement. You don't need to be a trained hypnotist to be persuasive, but understanding what hypnosis can and cannot do is extraordinarily valuable. It can change your entire worldview. That's what happened to me when I trained to be a hypnotist. I once believed people use facts and reason to make decisions. When I disagreed with people, I assumed it was because I had different facts or better reasons. That was an illusion. The reality one learns while practicing hypnosis is that we make our decisions first for irrational reasons, and we rationalize them later as having something to do with facts and reason. If you believe humans are fundamentally rational, you will have a hard time learning to be a hypnotist, because hypnotists rely on our irrational behavior, our irrational brain wiring to persuade. The most effective politicians do the same thing in this chapter. I'll give you some background on hypnosis to show you how easily the human mind can be rewired by a skilled operative. The background will help you understand Trump's his election victory, and it might explain a lot of other mysteries in your personal and professional life. I've been interested in hypnosis since I was a child. My family doctor was a hypnotist, and he hypnotized my mother to eliminate her pain when she gave birth to my sister. My mother said that although she was hypnotized, or so she claimed, she was conscious of the entire birth. Process, and felt no discomfort. And that was without pain meds, at least according to my mom. In hindsight, it's not clear how much of that story was true. One of the things I've learned as a lifelong student of persuasion is that false memories are common, and sometimes adults don't tell the truth. My mother was a straight shooter, so I doubt she made up the story, but I can't be sure. She remembered everything accurately, such as whether or not someone actually gave her pain meds, and she forgot that part. In any event, I bought into my mother's story, and I vowed to someday learn the thing called hypnosis. I hoped that learning hypnosis would imbue me with some sort of superpower. It turns out I was right. When I was in my mid-20s, living in San Francisco, I signed up for an evening class at the Clement School of Hypnosis. It no longer exists, and by school I mean that there were 10 students. They were learning from one professional hypnotist. If I recall, we met twice a week for about 10 weeks or something along those lines. The instructor hypnotized the class a number of times. We would experience hypnosis from the receiving side. And after he taught us enough technique, we practiced on one another, and for homework, we hypnotized willing strangers and reported back on our progress. I know you want me to teach you how to be a hypnotist, but you can't learn from a book. Some skills require a lot of in-person practice, and this is one of them. Part of the process of learning hypnosis involves building confidence in your skills until your subjects can sense it by your demeanor. That confidence is a key ingredient to making hypnosis work. You can build up to that confidence in a class setting over time, in a way that I doubt anyone can get from a book. If you try a method from a book and it doesn't work on the first try, You'll probably dismiss the book as a scam and stop trying. Learning hypnosis from a book might be possible, but I've never heard of anyone pulling it off. So in Persuasion tip number 9, he says, display confidence, either real or faked, to improve your persuasiveness. You have to believe yourself, or at least appear as if you do, in order to get anyone else to believe. Hypnosis is largely an observational skill. Half of the process involves looking for micro changes in the subject so you can determine whether or not the approach you are using is having the effect you want. You can't get good at an observational skill without lots of practice. A subject under hypnosis has a distinctive look that I doubt I could describe in words, and I'm good at describing things in words. But the look of a hypnotized subject is unmistakable once you have seen it often enough. You can't get that sort of experience from a book. You have to observe a lot of people under hypnosis to recognize it. I found it easy to get volunteers for hypnosis by saying I was enrolled in a hypnosis class. I doubt I could have recruited volunteers so easily by saying I was reading a book about hypnosis. The class gave me some credibility with strangers, and a hypnotist in training needs a lot of strangers to practice on. One of the things we learned in class is that hypnotizing friends and family doesn't work well because you have too much history and baggage to overcome. People close to you will have trouble getting into the mindset that you suddenly have a magical new skill. Strangers are more likely to grant you the assumption of credibility, and even if you are only a student of hypnosis, and you need the credibility for the hypnosis to work. In Persuasion tip number 10, he says, persuasion is strongest when the messenger is credible. One of the most confusing things about hypnosis is that the things you think it can do, it probably can't. But the things you didn't know it could do, such as predicting presidential outcomes, are mind-boggling. I spoke to a number of other trained persuaders during the election. The following observation is purely anecdotal, but I don't recall any trained persuaders thinking Clinton was a lock to win. Most predicted an outright Trump win, or at least a surprisingly close race. You've probably heard of people using hypnosis to lose weight or stop smoking cigarettes. Hypnosis works for those methods about as well as other non-medical methods. And by that I mean it usually doesn't work. People who go on diets usually fail no matter what method they use. People who try to stop smoking also fail more often than not. Hypnosis gets you about the same poor result as other non-medical methods. The reason hypnosis is not a powerful tool for losing weight or quitting smoking is almost humorously simple. You don't want to eat less and you don't want to stop smoking. Smokers and overeaters like both of those things. That's the whole problem. If people didn't enjoy eating and smoking, they wouldn't be doing those things. And a hypnotist is only good for getting you to do what you want to do. If any part of your mind doesn't fully embrace the change you want, hypnosis might be the wrong tool. But hypnosis can work well in situations where the subject has no objection to modifying an old behavior. For example, let's say you want to overcome a specific type of fear. In those cases, the subject has zero desire to keep the fear. The fear provides no pleasure or other benefit. Hypnosis can work well in those situations. But you are still fighting. So we're on page 74. We're going to go back to 74 tomorrow. We'll repeat that page, starting to talk about who is good for hypnosis and who's not. So 74 tomorrow. Thanks for joining. See you tomorrow.